What's up, YouTube? Greg from Oathbound Gaming coming back at you again with another game. Today it's Fractured. Fractured is an MMO, the first MMO we're covering on this channel. Congratulations, Fractured, you deserve it. I've been playing Fractured for a little over a year now, and I love it. It's an isometric MMO focused around full loot PvP, city building. You can get your houses, you can customize your builds, go out there and kill enemies to learn their abilities that they have and build up your character. And it's great. It's fun. It's in an alpha state. You have to pay to get into the alpha, but guess what? This weekend, that's right, I'm posting this Saturday because there's a free alpha running right now. This Saturday and Sunday. Now's your chance to get into this thing for free. Try it out. Look down below in the description. You will see the website for Fractured and also a referral link. If you want to use that referral link to buy a Founders Pack, you decide you like it, there is a 10% discount code down there. And if you use that, that supports this channel, and I really appreciate that. Just like I appreciate anyone that subscribes. If you are not subscribed to this channel and you like this type of content, please consider doing so. Also, the RTX 3080 giveaway is still running at oathboundgaming.com. We'll throw that in the description as well. Please enter that giveaway. You should take this baby home. But I have so much to say about Fractured, so much to cover. This is going to be a long video, and I can't shorten it any longer. So let's get started. Enough of looking at this ugly face. Let's get started. Let's get to Fractured. Let's go. Come on! So what we're looking at here right now is the login screen. I already have a character created, so I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick what the creation process looks like. There's options to customize your character. You choose Gladiator or Arcanist. What these do is it just kind of shows you your starting abilities, what you're going to start with. That's all it really does, but it's not going to lock you out of any other spellcasting abilities if you go like the Gladiator. So I'm going to go ahead and allocate some attributes. Those are important. I'm not going to get too detailed into them because I could talk about those for hours. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my old character that I already had created because it's kind of well ahead of the creation process and the beginning steps that I don't want to bore you with too much. I want to get into the meaty details of the game. So here we are in the town. It's full of players because they're doing a test right now. And here you'll see a bank. I'm going to hit clear bank. This is going to delete everything. These are temporary buttons at the bottom to generate equipment, generate crafting reagents, and the ability to clear your bank. That's temporary just for this 3-day test, so we can test builds, PvP, balance, and provide our feedback, which is a cool system. Here we're looking at the world map here. This is one continent out of 9. There are 3 planets planned, each with 3 continents. This is only one continent. It takes you about 45 minutes on a mount to go from one end to another. So it's quite large. Again, that's only one continent of 9. So I'm going to go over here into this inn, and I am going to show you real quick the abilities. This is the abilities list. Every ability in the game right now, and they're always adding more. We have access to all of the abilities for this test, again, just for balance reasons. It's not going to be like this normally. Normally, you have to get abilities by killing enemies that have the abilities. So here you'll see that the abilities are quite detailed, like what they do and how they adjust with your attributes. Whether it's damage, cooldown reduction, slow time, stun time, it'll show you how your attributes affect each ability. So you can come up with a build for yourself that works, and then you might want to get more perception or dexterity if you're going with archery type of abilities, or more strength if you're going with melee type of abilities. So there's a whole ton of abilities in this game for you to mess with and try to, create a good build with. Here everyone's just in the inn trying to use this hearth, the fireplace, because right now I'm resting at it, and you'll see you have presets. These are your talent points. Again, for this test, they gave us all talent points, all 60 talent points, and you could allocate them to get more attributes, more melee damage, more mana, more health. You can choose how you want to allocate your talents. This one's immunity to poison status, so there's some pretty powerful ones. Inevitable, like every 20 seconds, the next attack will guarantee to crit. And animal over here. This funny name, but this tree is going to be about taming pets to help you in combat. So I know I'm moving pretty fast here, but I have a lot to get to, and I don't want to make this too long. So moving on, these are the abilities I'm looking at. And here we have the Book of Knowledge. This will show all of the enemies you killed and discovered out in the world, and it will help you see what abilities these creatures have and how to learn those abilities. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to head out into the town to go find some enemies to kill. Oh, that mob's dead already. It doesn't look dead, but it's dead. Someone killed it. These mobs, as you kill them, you start unlocking entries in the Book of Knowledge for them, and if you keep killing the same enemy enough, you'll discover the abilities they have, and you can learn them yourself using knowledge points. You gain knowledge points for killing enemies, finding different resources, whether it's plants, tree types, killing legends, which are bosses out in the world, which I'm definitely going to cover a little bit later into this video. But here we go. We have a bear over here, right? So I'm going to kill it really easily because I'm really overpowered for this. And you see new creature discovered, black bear. In the Book of Knowledge, you see there's a black bear, and there's an ability he has. Question mark, though, right? So we know he's got an ability, but it's not revealed. If we keep killing black bears, we're going to get more and more knowledge on the black bears, and we will discover exactly what they have, and then we can spend the knowledge to learn that ability. The cool thing is, the abilities you can learn from the enemies, you'll see them use it themselves on you. And you'll notice that they do stun me from time to time when they hit me, and that's the ability we're able to learn from them, is that stun. So like I said, they already gave us all the abilities in this game. So there's the stun, it just hit me. But if I kill this, more knowledge points you'll see at the top of my screen. But I already have all the abilities in the game, but I just want to show you how you would normally get this ability. You kill them, and then you scroll down to the bottom, and now you see Bash is revealed. And it would show a lock on there. But if I clicked it, I'd be able to spend the knowledge points at the top right of my Book of Knowledge and unlock that ability, and then I'd be able to use that myself. And like I said, you unlock talent points with knowledge points as well, so you can spend it there. And then like I said, you can get all abilities in the game. Doesn't matter what class you picked. Alright, so right now we're in combat. I have a group going on here. I am tanking a bunch of stuff, and we're working our way to something called a legend. If you take a look at the world map, you can see these red exclamation marks here. There's 5 of them on the map at any given time, and they're called legends. They're legendary creatures that are difficult. They require groups to take down. You might be able to solo some of the easy ones. You can see the difficulty is labeled on these guys when you scroll over them. Hard, medium, easy. This one we're going for is a medium difficulty one. It's not too hard, just you got to be wary of PvP as well, because players can try to gank you and kill you while you're trying to fight it. But we're going to go ahead and clear our way towards the legend and try to take him out. Got a bunch of annoying skeletons on me. And the neck. Big spider. So this is like an undeadish type of area. Obviously a lot of skeleton dudes, spider lich guys. So there's a lot of fantasy in this game as well. There's plans that add dragons and huge bosses that require, 20 plus players to take down. So that should be very interesting to see. This game is definitely early on in the alpha development stage, and we probably won't see a full release for the game until 2022 at some point, but we don't know for sure. And it's been getting there. I've been playing this game for about a year now, a little over a year, I think, and it's already come a long way. Lots of new additions, new enemies, legends were added that weren't in there a few months back. PvP wasn't as focused on. They started adding PvP features to the game, so it's really growing, and I would highly recommend jumping into this if you have the chance. Below in the video, just using this time to talk while we clear this, below in the description you'll find a link to one of my referral links. If you want to use it, feel free. You don't have to, you definitely don't have to, but there's a free test going right now. You don't have to pay to get in, but there is a referral link if you want to use it to get a discount on some of the Founders Packs, if you're interested in that. Like I said, it's free right now, so for the remainder of this weekend, you could hop in here and just try the game out. Bring some friends and give it a shot. And feel free to contact me if you need any group, you want to, I don't know, get some help in the game. I'm always happy to help out. So this is the legend here that I pulled. This big purple dude. He's hurting a little bit. I'm trying to keep myself healed and get some heals from group members. And he's tough. And I'm quite tanky too. So you definitely have to bring a tank, bring some healers. You can kind of self-sustain as a tank if you bring a lot of heals. Like I mentioned before, you can kind of bring abilities as like a spellcaster, well, at least you could bring some heals as a heavy armor wearer, but there's some limitations, like you can't wear heavy armor and throw fireballs. Like there's some limitations, like saying, hey, if you're using a melee weapon and wearing heavy armor, you can't use these spells. So for balancing reasons, there are some limitations, which I think it's good, from a balance standpoint. If everyone can do anything they want, and always heal themselves and throw the highest damage abilities while wearing the tankiest stuff, it wouldn't be a very well balanced game. And as an avid MMO player, I like my balance. So the team is getting hit by some skeleton ads that I cannot really help them with because I'll lose this boss if I start running. But they managed to take out the weaker ones. And we're focusing the boss down. He's almost down. Don't have too much left. And this fight night might not seem too difficult, but if PvP happens during this, it's risky. And it does happen. Especially as the game's population grows, you start seeing more and more PvP. It is awesome. So there we go, legend down. If you check the loot on him, you see he drops a whole ton of gold. He'll drop the crafting materials for enchanting reagents, and other crafting materials for equipment. Alright, we're at another legend. This one's much harder. His name is Murag Ghul. He is a tough one. He's a big troll bastard, and he is tough. If anyone's remotely close to the front of him, he's going to do a conical scream attack that will kill anyone that's not the tank, pretty much. He's very deadly. So we pulled one of the smaller trolls, quote-unquote smaller. This one isn't the boss. He's a normal troll. He's not the legend. So he goes down rather quickly. And I'm gonna try to position myself a little bit towards the left here when I pull this guy. You see him, Murag Ghul, is all armored up. Big boss troll. Trolls ain't mess around in this game. They are not the slim trolls like World of Warcraft. They are hulking dudes. So you see that yell, look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see three party members actually got hit, but two of them happened to go down there, which is I'm glad that happened because I could explain this to you a little bit. If you look down at their health a little bit, you'll see there's a little bit of a purple bar, about 15% of their health there. That's the maximum health they lost by going down. And they will not get that back until they rest at a fire in a town. Not a campfire you can create, but the bigger hearth fires in the taverns. So they get up and reposition themselves a little bit towards the right side so we can avoid having that happen again. So the group's on the right side and they're DPSing as hard as they can because I won't be able to last forever on this thing. Eventually he will kill me. But I changed my builds to equip a lot of heals and try to keep myself alive as well as receiving heals from two party members on the right side throwing heals at me as well every so often. But they throw damage spells as well as heals when they come off cooldown. And they're buffing the party as well. So this guy is much... I have my immortality up right now, my enrage. It'll keep me alive even though it looks like I'm about to die with no health. I can't die while that buff's up, but as soon as it comes off, I have to get healed immediately before his next swing. Because he obviously will kill me as soon as the immortality rate comes off and I'm down at 1% health. But as you can see, as you can imagine, if PvP happened during this, we would be in big trouble. It would be very hard to win that fight. We've had it happen before. I wish I had it recorded, where I kind of just turned the boss to them and got a little lucky that he screamed at them and killed them. It was nice. It was good timing. But it does happen. PvP does make the game super exciting. I really enjoy my PvP. As the population increases in this game, we start seeing a lot more of it, like I said earlier. And I hope to see some of you guys in this game, and maybe we can join together, join the guild, or we fight each other. Something along those lines. That's always fun, right? But Murag Ghul, starting to whittle him down a little bit. He's got about 15% life left. Mana's getting a little bit low, so I'm gonna try not to use too much of my mana to heal, but it's regenning quite quickly, which is good. It should outlast his health. Full heal, used my 1 minute cooldown actually. Insta healed, full health. And that is enough to take him down. That was one of the more difficult ones. If he will actually die, he's at like 1% health. There we go. That's enough to take him down. You'll see his loot is much more than the weaker, the medium difficulty. A lot more reagents, a lot more gold. Worthwhile kill. I wanted to show you one last legend before we move on from the legends. we have a bear here. He's considered easy difficulty. He's definitely a heck of a lot easier. I'm not using a shield and I'm tanking him just fine. He doesn't hit that hard. You can honestly solo or two-man this one. He's definitely much easier than the other legends and goes down much quicker, a lot less health. But of course his rewards are not as lucrative. They're not as large, right? There's lesser rewards, but they're still worth killing if you can get to them before other players do. So we take him down, and if you check his inventory, you'll see a lot less gold. But one other thing that looted to my inventory is this, a lost tail. If you go to a fire and right-click it, you can learn it. So you got to do it at a fireplace in a house or city. But when you learn these, they will give you knowledge points to learn abilities and talents, and they will appear in their book of knowledge here as a lost tail and give you knowledge for learning the lost tail. So they're worth killing, those legends. Seek them out. Alright, so I'm out of town now, and I'm gonna pick up some wheat here, just to show you a little bit about the crafting process of some of your materials. So you can see I picked up plant fiber, and I can create rope with it. So I'm going to go ahead and create rope, and I'm going to create a tool here, a primitive hammer. I already have the stone and twigs for it, but if you notice here, there's some stone. If I try to gather that, it says, hey, you need a hammer. So I'm going to go ahead and craft myself a hammer real quick, and I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to be able to acquire stone from this and use that to build houses and cities and all that cool stuff up, which I am going to show you in depth what that system is like. Let's run over here to my guild city, and you'll see here we already have a bunch of carts filled with stone and lumber and stuff ready to build up this city. So this is one of the buildings. This is the city hall. This is the very beginning of the city that we claimed, and we're going to build it up. And once it's completed, you'll see this pillar become like solidified there. You know, that's a completed pillar. When this is all done, the building's going to progress to the next section, and we'll have to continue to build that up, move more stone and wood into the building to complete it. This takes a long time. It's definitely more of a teamwork-oriented process, and you definitely want to get a good guild together that is like-minded and get this done. I'm going to put the last stone in for this one, and you're going to see it progress to the next stage like that. And now you see, hey, the walls have more sections that we need to put more stone in to complete it and move it on to the next section. Alright, another segment of the wall that we're working on completing here. We're just about done. Completed that. I'm going to hammer this wall, and it's going to progress to the next stage. One step closer. Alright, we have another piece of lumber on the floor here, and we already put all of the lumber and stone in, so we're going to put the last piece in to show you what it looks like when it progresses. And the city hall is going to be one step closer to completion, not much left. And now we have some pillars that still need more lumber. Alright, 2 pillars here to finish, and it'll move on to the next stage. We're getting close to the end, I promise. Alright, so we have one final piece of lumber that has to go in. Duckfat's carrying it, but there's a little bit of an animation bug there. You don't see it on him, but he's going to go ahead and complete this wall for us, and that's going to bring us to one of the final steps. We need 5 stone bricks for this table here, this desk, and we have those lined up here. So as a guild, we're going to work together to put that stone in there. And like I mentioned earlier, this is definitely a guild-oriented game and a guild-oriented feature. Building a big city is not something that's meant for the solo process. It's designed around having a lot of teamwork, so a well-organized guild is definitely going to succeed in this game. So we went ahead and completed that table right there, and now we need a little bit more lumber for the final step. I promise you it's the final step. I'm going to go ahead and put the lumber, the wood logs into the door. We need 5 of them. Just about done. And if you're looking for an MMO guild, I do run one. My MMO guild is quite serious about their games. I had to use this channel to plug that. You know I did. So we're just about done with this door here. The last log's going in there right now. Harley's going to finish that, complete that for us, and bam, we're done. All right. So when we come in here and look at the town hall table, you see the overview, taxes, upkeep, citizens, and requests. Here we can set the taxes for each of the housing plots and the harbor fees if we had a harbor city where people can teleport and use our ships to kind of teleport over there, and they would pay us a fee. You can set the pricing for the housing plots there. You can decide what they're going to cost. Here's the upkeep. This is the cereal sacks, the protein sacks, and the vegetable sacks. You have to go out there and get plants and meat and stuff to help your city rank up and meet the upkeep required to hold on to your city and not have it degrade and eventually fall out of your hands. You'll no longer own the city. So you do have to meet the upkeep. Here's your citizens. That's everyone that belongs to the city. And then any citizen requests you have will appear on this page here. Here I can promote members. I'm going to grab Bucky and Harley. We're going to promote them to vice governor so they can handle requests. If anyone does apply to join the city, they can handle it. Here on the notice board, you can type in anything you want. So if anyone comes to your city, they can be like, oh, look, this guild is recruiting. If they go to oathboundgaming.com and enter the RTX 3080 giveaway, they might win that. You know, that's right. I plugged that. All right, here we have the bank runes. If we come here and choose yes, we want to start this project, you'll see it takes 40 stone blocks to build a bank so the guild can use that to store their stuff. With the power of editing here, I have fast forwarded the process of building this bank because it took quite some time, but we're going to go ahead and put the final stone in and you will see it progress to its last state. And when it does, it will tell you what else it requires, which is more stone blocks for the pillars. Alright, one final stone block is needed, and this will progress to the final stage, and we will have ourselves a nice new bank as soon as we complete that, so we can store our stuff and keep it safe so we don't lose it if we happen to die. Finally, after a long process, we are going to complete the bank so the entire guild and all the citizens have access to a nice bank so they can store all of their fractured goodies. Look how nice that bank looks. Nice and clean and empty. We got to fill it up. Alright, so here I am going to show you a little bit about gathering some more materials and creating a cart to move some of the heavier materials that would otherwise take you very, very long to move just by hand. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this cart that I already have placed down that I'm working on crafting. I put the final logs in, and I'm going to put the linen weave that are in my inventory into the cart. I finished the crafting process, and now I have myself a cart. This one requires the use of a horse to pull, and can carry quite a lot of material, 30 slots, so we can go ahead and put in some logs here. And if you check the inventory, there you go. You'll see the logs in there, and I can grab stone and go ahead and throw that in the cart as well. And I can mine another piece of stone from the stone deposit if I want, using the hammer in my inventory. Take that and throw that in the cart. If you're the governor of a city, you get to make all sorts of choices about the city, like what you're going to place and where you're going to place it. So here we have a magic shop that I'm going to work on placing here. And you'll see a red silhouette, but if you move it around, eventually you'll pick a spot and it'll be like, hey, this is a good spot for it. It'll turn blue. So you have to get those blue arrows to line up with a road. Kind of like that. And if I move it just a little bit, I should be able to get it to snap into place. And then I can click it to place it down. And I can, there we go. If I place it there, bam, there we go. That's another project the guild can work on to help build this thing up, and then we'll have a magic shop for our enchants and various crafting. So if we look at the city list here, you see there's a bunch of stockpile where we can stockpile wood and stone for future projects. Farming plots, you can do a lot of planting and harvesting. Blacksmith, you know, your forge, metal, heavy armor. Magic shop, which I just placed down, enchanting and stuff. Tailor, light armor, carpenter, wood, bows, staves, and tavern, which is like your fire where you can set your abilities and your talents. That's very important, so we're going to go ahead and place this down. But as you see, the arrows require it to be on the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and place a dirt road and choose how the roads are going to be in the town. And I'm going to place it like this, like so. And now I have a road there, and I can take this blacksmith, or not blacksmith, tavern. I could take this tavern and move it just a little bit, and I should be able to get it. Bam, there we go. And now we have a tavern project started. So that's not all, because you can actually have your own land, your own house if you want. And you can place down, as a governor, you can place down little land parcels. This is the smallest one possible, the 2x2, super small. You get like a small little chest on there. It could still be your plot, your land if you want that. That's certainly your choice if you'd rather have a smaller one. I'm going to extend this road a little bit on this side. Just a little bit. And bring it down here just a bit. And I am going to place a plot. Let's do 4x4. That should fit. So if we take a 4x4 and we go up here, bam, place that down. If I walk in here and hit this little house button at the bottom right, I said, yes, I want to claim this. This is now mine. So if I go to blueprints, this is more of like a personal thing, not city. Because I own this, I'm placing it on a personal plot. I'm going to do a 3x3 house. And I'm going to place it towards the back like that. And now that's a new project for the house. And people can help you build that. That's your own personal house. But your city, your guild can certainly help you build your house as well. I'm going to place a little chest out here. So that could be my own personal storage. And once we get that all built, that's mine. I could fill it with stuff, make it a nice little cozy place, and decorate it a little bit if that's your thing. Alright, those 3 buildings I placed have been completed. Just wanted to show you the completed project. This is the magic shop for all our enchanting and magic-based stuff, like our staves. This is the inn. We have our nice chest and our fire, where we can reset our, change our talents and abilities. And here, this is the personal house I made. I can also use my own fire for the talents and abilities if I want. Here you'll see claim management, where you can add someone to a house so they can have like co-ownership and utilize the stuff you have put in your house. So Harley just ran over here. I'm going to add her to the list. When she accepts that, she's going to appear like this. I can promote her from a friend to a co-owner. And then I can set permissions. For instance, on this chest, if I set it to co-owner like it is, she'll be able to use that. But I can set it to friends, party, guild, and over here I can set it to guild, so the entire guild can use this. And if anyone's in the guild, they can take and put stuff into that chest, withdraw and deposit. Same thing with the fire, permission system. And at this fire, you can change your alignment from good or evil. If you want to PvP someone all the time, you're going to want to be evil, so you can gank anyone whenever you want. Besides cities, they're safe in there. I'm going to rest at this fire here and show you the talents again, and the presets for the talents and the abilities, which you can have 5 of each, and you could quick swap them if you want. One little tip: if you hold control and click an ability, you can change the way the image looks, so you can have like a heal set and a tank set and a damage set, presets all set up for yourself, and I don't know, could help you decide which is which. And of course you can name them. Fractured also has a little bit of survival elements in it. It's got hunger and fatigue in it. And I'm going to show you by chasing down this poor rabbit. Oh, he's a little faster than me. Sorry, rabbit, but I'm going to need to eat you. I'm going to kill it, but not before he runs me into a spider, so let's take care of that first. That blue thing over my character, is a silence, so I can't use my abilities. But eventually I will take this thing down if it stops dodging. And it's down. So let's loot the corpse of the rabbit, which is what I was after, and you'll see skinned rabbit. Can't eat that yet, because it's not cooked, right? So at the top left, if you look, you'll see the hunger bar, the satiety, how hungry I am, and my fatigue, which is the lightning bolt. So I'm going to go to blueprints here, and I'm going to click campfire, and I'm going to place this thing down, and you'll see it takes small stones and branches. I already have those. Branches you pull off trees, stones you can find around the world. And I'm going to complete this fireplace. There's a nice little roaring fire sound. I'm going to choose to cook. There's a bunch of recipes here. We're going to make rabbit, because that's what we have. You'll see it restores 50% of your satiety. And if I right click that, and I'm going to consume it, and you'll see the hunger bar go up. I'm also going to rest, and you'll see my rest bar at the top left. Boom, go up. If you don't manage those, you die. Alright, enchanting. Here we have a 6 slots. The one in the middle is where the item goes, and then the 6 on the outside is reagents. So here we see the available enchants, as well as these little circles. When we scroll over the circles, you can see names on it: soul, transform, fire, order. You'll see on these items as well, reagents, they have create 6, life 3. They are what fills those circles. So if you need create and chaos for critical strike chance, you're going to find stuff with Create and Chaos and drag that in there, and you'll see those circles start to fill. You can get different levels of the enchant. As you can see, a lot of enchants are available when I do that. You can get different levels of the enchant as those circles fill. So the more they're filled, the stronger the enchant. If I hit enchant right now, it's going to randomize the enchant out of all of the glowing enchants. You don't even know which one you're going to get. But if I hit enchant, let's see what happens to pull. Critical strike chance tier 2, which is actually what I wanted. I got lucky there. And you'll see the weapon now has 2 out of 4 tiers of enchants. Nope, don't want to destroy it, because I got a tier 2 critical strike chance in there. But let's try something else. Let's throw a chest piece in there. And you'll see the available enchants change because it's a piece of armor. But as I throw random enchant materials in there, you'll see, hey, look, there's available enchants. If I hit enchant, it's going to pick either luck or endurance, and it picked luck. If I try to do it again, it's going to pick endurance this time because it already has luck on it. So now I have endurance, which is now health. They changed the wording of that, and luck. So there you go. That's the enchant system. It's pretty in-depth, and there's a little bit of RNG to it, and that's what kind of makes good items good, because they're a little bit harder to obtain and get the perfect enchant. So one of our guild members here decided to go AFK, and he's been AFK for quite a long time. It's been over a half hour. So he's currently starving to death. If you see that purplish bar, that's the amount of his maximum health that has been reduced, that has been removed from him. So he can't gain that health back until he goes and rests. But he's losing more and more of his maximum health every second because he's starving. And in just a second, he's going to die from starvation. Like any second now. Bam. So he just died from starvation. And if you die in this game, people can loot your corpse. So if I go check, I could check his body here and see everything he had on him and loot his stuff. I'm going to steal one of his grilled carrots. Don't show him. I hope he doesn't see this video. Alright, we're going to end the video with a couple of PvP skirmishes between guild members. We're just practicing here. I am a heavy armored melee versus a caster. In a 1v1 combat, they tend to have a little bit of a harder time, casters, but they could still win in 1v1 fights. This game is definitely more balanced around group combat, so don't judge just too harshly when you see 1v1 combat, because I'm telling you right now that casters are incredible in group combat. 1v1, they definitely do struggle a little bit, and melee definitely has the upper hand. If I wanted to execute her, I could, but I'm not going to do that because she's a guild member. Alright, round 2. This should be a little bit different. She ended up changing her build a little bit. She should probably have a better chance at killing me. So, okay, here we go. Start off by getting her in a stun. She dodges the next attack. Another dodge. But I end up hitting her with a stun and applying a slow. Blinks away, and it's going to be hard for me to cover that gap a little bit. But I end up resisting a lot of her damage. She hits me with a poison. I'm getting low on health, but I do have a trick up my sleeve. Immortality, followed by... You'll see it in a second. Watch this. Boom! Full heal. That's on a 1-minute cooldown. So, remember when I said this game's more balanced for group combat? It's kind of what I'm talking about. You know, if you whittle someone down like this and they have the full heal, by the time you bring them back down, it's possible to have it back up. So it's difficult on a 1v1 combat. But in a group combat, you're not going to get it back up because you can be focused a lot easier, and it's going to be a lot easier for 2 players to kill that 1 player if they focus him. I dodged that spell quite easily, which is something you got to be wary of as well, is the animation for some spells is kind of long, and you can outplay it, you can dodge it. But that brings some skill to the combat. I do like that, you know, you can dodge arrows, you can dodge spells. Some spells you can't, though. Some spells are like, they'll home in no matter what. And I like the variation in that. There's a whole ton of abilities and, you know, different builds that you can experiment with and practice with. And this is a game that really, really does reward players that want to just duel with friends like this, duel with guild members and see what works and what doesn't and what can I do to beat him. Let me change my build up a little bit. That stuff is fun. I enjoy that. And if you're into PvP at all, Fractured is going to be a really, really fun game for you. The fight finally ends. That was definitely a good fight, better than the first one. So we have another PvP battle between two guild members here. This one, Clever's playing like an archer build, and Harley's still going to be her caster. So you can see the difference between an archer and a caster. They are much more glass cannon type builds. You'll see them doing much more damage to each other. The archer hits very hard versus the caster, and of course vice versa. You'll see there, bolts hit very hard. They don't have nearly as much health as I do on my build, so they're probably sitting around like 15 to 1800 health, and I have 3400. So it's quite a big difference. Caster ended up going stealth there for a little bit. She came out. Archer does a lot of damage. But you can dodge the shots. So if you're good at kind of like bobbing and weaving a little bit, you can dodge those shots and try to take less damage. Ooh, super close fight. Very close. And for the last and final clip for this fractured test, we have round 2 of Harley vs. Culebra. Mage vs. Caster. Lots of damage on Culebra right off the bat. Culebra follows it up. Oh, we're about neck and neck. Same health. Harley with a little bit of a heal and a poison bolt. Oh, a ton of damage, and Culebra actually goes down. I know the animation didn't show, but that's it. That's round 1 to Culebra, round 2 to Harley. That's a tie. Let's call it there. Wow, you made it all the way to the end of the video. That was a long video. The longest one we did so far. That's right, I was laying down on the floor. Who cares? What are you going to do? You going to fight about it? So, maybe you like this content because you made it all the way to the end of this thing. Consider hitting that sub button. I always appreciate it. It's what keeps this content coming. It's what keeps me motivated to keep these videos rolling. So if you like this stuff, you want to see more MMOs, any sort of gaming, tech content, more giveaways like the RTX 3080 giveaway, please consider throwing us a sub. Just click that button wherever the heck that may be. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Skidda!